Fluency Article Review audio podcast by Jordan Ham. The article that I decided to do was the Oral Reading Accuracy Findings and Implications from Recent Research. The Oral Reading Accuracy Range. The oral reading accuracy ranges from easy, instructional, and hard. The researchers studied that the research behind the oral reading accuracy achieved and the intervention's outcomes of the students. Text that is read with a score of less than 90% accuracy is considered to be labeled as hard. Text that is read with a score of more than 90% accuracy is considered to be labeled as easy. There was many ways that these results were measured. Some of those ways were reading books aloud to evaluate their progress at their reading level, running records, MSCU analysis, and other available reading inventories. So, what is the research question? There was many questions that were asked throughout the text, but these two really stood out to be a big part of the reading. So, the first one is a direct quote question from the reading, which is, does accuracy matter to reading progress for beginning readers who have difficulty learning how to read? And then the other one is, what oral accuracy range classify it as easy, instructional, or hard? The easy, instructional, hard levels are referring to how accurately students can read the text and not just to the text itself. The students were to use performance is the book that defines it as easy, instructional, or hard. So the participants in the study design, so they did a few different studies, but this one was the one that got the most results throughout the passage and was brought back to. So it was used and was conducted with 45 early reading students and their achievements. They were labeled or picked by their being labeled as free and reduced lunch, which means that usually that the parent makes less money or just they don't have the resources like other kids would. So there was 60% that were boys, 32% of those were white, 50% were black, 16% were Hispanic, and they had all female teachers. All the teachers had 18 years of experience, and they either taught half a day of Title I or were reading teachers for half of the day. This was also that established the running scores to represent the easy was 95 or above, instructional was 90 to 94%, and hard was 90% or low or below ranges. So to find that, they used a formula to figure out where the students were at in their reading. They did 100 minus the total errors, which the errors were defined as any of the words that were not the words that were in the text. So words that were just put in or not read correctly, but it did not count if the student went back and read the words correctly. And that number was divided by the total number of words that were read on the page times by 100 to get their percentage. And like I said before, 95 and above was easy, 90 to 94 was instructional, and below 90% was hard. The learning reading can strengthen through problem solving and proper development. Putting that in there was just to say that their reading allowed them to problem solve and to develop reading better and understand words better. So the effective teaching. So as teachers, we want to avoid books that give students less than 90% accuracy because it gives them a negative impact on reading. For them to know that a book was hard and drops their level or however you're scoring their reading doesn't feel good when they're not succeeding. So we want to do something that, yeah, they're succeeding or they're staying in that middle level where they're going to stay on that reading level. We don't want to keep doing books that are going to be the book less than 90%. They're going to be too hard for them because it's going to make them not want to read. We need to chart the students where they are reading and try to create some sort of feedback to cause positive reading that is more than 90% accuracy, meaning, like I just said, that they are at the instructional or the easy level, that they're understanding what they're reading, or it could be a little hard, but for the majority part, they're understanding it. So then we check up on your domain competency. What source of information are we promoting when we're scaffolding word solving? So how are we having the students solve each word? And we're check up on the instructional congruency. That was another one that was put in, and it's just basically telling us, are we providing the right amount of scaffolding? Like, are we starting at the bottom and going up and trying to teach them as much as we can? So in my future classroom, I will need to remember that when assessing students on reading, I do not want it to be hard where they don't want to read, but I need to test them frequently to get the result of where they're at. Keeping data on reading levels is good not only for me as the teacher of that year, but also the student and the teachers to come. This allows students and teachers to know the accuracy of the readers and to know how they can improve.